Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Level 1 podcast. On today's show, we've got some big updates, including the big reveal of the name of the new wrestling commentary show that I'll be doing tomorrow at exactly this time and place, only over on my React channel, unless you're here watching on Kick. Also, we got some tech news coming out of CES, the big tech show that happens once a year, and we'll be talking a little bit about that, plus updates on my current playthrough, scheduling, and the like. A nice chill show. Lean back and relax. It is time for another fun morning edition of the Level 1 podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo! Because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Oh!
All righty. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 podcast for Monday, the 6th of January, 2025. Hello and welcome, everyone. As we have another lovely day of content scheduled, let me actually adjust a little further. Every day, I'm basically trying to find the perfect spot for this mic where it'll be not blocking the background, but like in the ideal spot where I can talk and you can hear me better. I swear we're going to perfect this eventually. We got to get there, right? People have been telling me that this mic is designed to be closer to you. I'm like, well, when I'm gaming, that's fine. But when I'm here on the show, how am I going to have the mic in my mouth? It's going to be messing with the set. That's why yesterday we switched the portal gun to the other side. But every day, a little bit more improvement, okay? Every day, a little bit more tweaking and the like, and we'll figure it out. It's a matter of getting to the point where we're perfected and we're in the right spot, right? And we'll get there. So no worries there, but be sure to tell me if, there's any problems, if it sounds like the mic is dropping, etc. We can always tweak it. In fact, one thing that I wanted to do, now that I'm just thinking about it, I did want to loosen one of the filters just slightly, because I did notice that it was dropping just a tiny bit last night. I want to do the noise gate. I want to loosen it a little bit further. Okay, I loosened it a little further. I'm hoping that when I game now today, it won't pick up more noise. We'll have to see if there's an echo or not. But, every day a little bit more tweaking, right? So anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. I hope that you're all in good spirits. I know that recently I've been having some tech issues, right? And I think I finally figured it out. I really do. Like, it was funny because yesterday, once again, here I am. I'm struggling to try to get everything working right and to get the pop-ups to work and everything. And I'm frustrated. I'm like, why is this not working? Why is that not working? And after messing with these things over and over, I think I start to understand what's going on. Yeah, look at this. So I think here's what's happened. Okay. I think I finally figured it out, quite frankly. I have a whole new layout, set up for stuff since this new PC a month ago. And what's been happening is I keep changing my setup every day. Like there's a little different, right? So what's ended up happening was, as I tweak one thing, I screw something else up. All right. So for example, right now I would click on something to edit it. And as I'm going to click on it to edit it, I accidentally click on something else. My layout here is totally different. Like my laptop is in a different position further to the right. My keyboard and mouse have been repositioned. And I think what's happening is I literally make one misclick and it would screw up an entire part of my layout. Like yesterday, I couldn't figure out why can't I click on and edit my leaderboard. And then come to find out, I think I had clicked on it and there's a way that you can lock something in OBS so you can't edit it. And I think that's what I did. I think I had accidentally locked it so you can't edit the item anymore. Now, what's funny is, I'm trying to replicate that right now. Like, for example, let me just test something quick. If I go to my gameplay screen, okay. Oh, and by the way, I had this hidden by accident. There we go. And this was where I was having issues because it wasn't allowing me to edit. But now I don't see that. It's so weird. What was happening was I was misclicking stuff with right click. And when I right clicked and misclicked, it was screwing the entire group of stuff up in OBS, leading to tons of problems. Like I couldn't even get my pop-ups to work right. Yeah, look at this. I couldn't even get my pop-ups to work. They're all screwed up. And it's my fault for misclicking. They were auto resizing and being all messed up. So what I'm gonna have to do is some of the things that I screwed up the sizing of, I'm just gonna have to re-add and start over. But I think I'm getting to the bottom of what's going on, that these things are screwing up. And I apologize for the tech issues. You may notice something a little different with our leaderboard. All right. So here's what's going on with the leaderboard. I have it now on basically a ticker, a scroll, which is what tons of things do. You see newscasts do it, podcasts do it. So I'm going to do it like that from now on. Now, here's how it's going to work. When people contribute to the show, I will add in their contributions. As that leaderboard gets more populated, it'll actually change its size. It resizes automatically. So basically, it'll always fit the screen, but it ends up looking better the more information that's on it. So you might say, well, what do you mean? I'll show you. Ready? Because some people already in chat are like, well, that leaderboard, it's weird. I can't put my finger on it. Ready? Watch this. See what I mean? So as I put more information on it, it now will auto size to fit the screen. And so it'll always fit. But the more on it, the skinnier the letters. So if people contribute and we put your names on the leaderboard, which you will always get credit for when you contribute, the leaderboard will change its aspect ratio there. Because some people were like, oh, it looks like right now it's stretched. Well, it is, but it will actually fix itself as people contribute and we get people up there. You see? So I know it's weird. People are like, what? So there you go. We're going to try this out today, all day. We'll see how it works. I think that it's going to end up looking good. But the thing is, it's changed. I've had a static leaderboard for 7-8 years, right? Ever since I started doing the leaderboard back in 2017. So some people are like, oh, I'm afraid of change. I can't handle change. And I don't want to, it's moving. It's driving me nuts. Well, this way, it always fits. With the other leaderboard, we were having issues getting it to fit. And the scrolling and the auto sizing makes more sense than having it not fit and look awkward, okay? So let's try it. Let's see how it goes. Who will be the first contributor today to the show so we can get you up on the leaderboard and see how it works, right? So anyway, so tech things aside, all right, today's show should be great. We got a lot of topics to talk about today, including some tech stuff coming out of CES. What is it? Isn't it the Consumer Electronics Show, correct? That's what it is, Consumer Electronics Show. A couple things there to cover. I'm sure there'll be more stuff happening over the week as well, because this show usually has a lot of big announcements and things that happen in the tech industry. So we'll be talking about those. Plus today, I'm going to reveal, excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. I'm going to reveal the logo and new name of the wrestling commentary show that will begin tomorrow with myself and Ashton. Remember, we've been talking about this for a while now, and finally we put it together. Tomorrow morning, in the place of this podcast, I'll be broadcasting this new show on my DSP Reacts channel, as well as on my Kick channel. So you'll be able to watch it live, and of course, after the fact on demand. Tonight is the big premiere of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and I have Netflix now. So I'm ready to watch it and take notes and talk all about it over the course of tomorrow's new commentary show. All right, so we're going to talk about that this morning, the big announcement. Plus, we will have updates on everything going on, all these playthroughs and the like. In fact, I think what we should do is we should start with this. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Overwhelming support again yesterday. Thank you all so very much. We hit 3 goals yesterday when it comes to support. And that means that we are only 2 goals away from having our next fun celebratory event, which is going to be a marathon of gaming. And we've talked about it over the week. Every day we're like narrowing it down a little more. So what are the options right now? Option number 1 would be a Rageathon, where basically you guys pick maybe like 4 rage-inducing games, and I try them over the course of the day, and we see how it works. You know, sometimes with these games, they become playthroughs. Other times it's just a really annoying day, and then we never get back to those games because they piss me off so bad. You know, I remember games like Super Meat Boy and getting over it and stuff like that in the past. Or number 2, a Mega Man Marathon, where I'm going to buy that Mega Man Legacy Collection on PC, and I'm going to play through all the classic Mega Man games, trying to challenge myself to see if I can like get through the first 6 games in one marathon. That will be a daunting task because some of those games are quite challenging, but I'll try to do my best. Like, how far can I get in classic Mega Man within a marathon? Keep in mind, I'll be probably drinking during the marathon, so it's not like I'm going to be on my absolute best game. Or the third option, a marathon of Dino Crisis, a game that you guys have always wanted me to play over the years. You've asked me time and time again to play and replay this game. But I always just get through basically like the intro of it for a marathon, like a Halloween marathon, but we never get past like the first hour. And yeah, it just basically becomes kind of a situation where everyone wants it, but it never happens. And it's disappointing that I've never gotten any further than the intro. But now I have it on PS5 Pro. It has the ability to save whenever you want. So, I mean, this would be an ample day, a perfect day. Let's play through Dino Crisis, see how far I can get during the marathon, and then probably finish it up as a playthrough later on in the month, right? So, those are our 3 options. We got to think about what we want because there's a chance today we may actually hit 50. Now, FYI, I told you guys I would do the marathon right away. However, being that tomorrow I have the wrestling commentary show, we can't do it tomorrow, all right? But we could do it as early as Wednesday. So if we hit 50 goals, we'll do the marathon on Wednesday, all right? It's cool. And that means there's going to be food, there's going to be booze. I actually opened up last night the pack of 90, they're called 99 Fruits Shots pack. You guys had told me to get this at the liquor store, so I did. It's 10 different shots of like 99 proof liquor, and they're all different fruit flavors. I've never had this before. It's like 99 bananas, 99 oranges, 99 watermelons. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if it's any good. It probably is probably crappy, you know. It wasn't expensive, but man, just taking shots of those over the course of the day, maybe for certain milestones of support, you know, get me all juiced up. And then I got to play this freaking marathon, right? Of whatever it is that we choose. So we have to figure this out. Now I'm curious. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to do a poll both on Kick and on YouTube this morning to determine which marathon you'd be more interested in seeing when we hit the goal. All right, so let's do it. You don't think it's 99 proof? No, it is. The shots are like 50% alcoholic volume. So that's what, like, it's supposed to be like 100 proof. It's like 99 proof. Yeah, they're really strong, that liquor. Oh, by the way, so before I'm going to do the polls in a second. Dick Jones is our first contributor of the day. My bad. Dick Jones just gifted 5 memberships on YouTube. Congrats to those who just got a membership. Thanks to Dick. Thank you so much, Dick. Let's get Dick up on the leaderboard. Thank you so much for getting the momentum going there. That's going to be our first $15 of contributions for today's stream. Thank you so much. And as you can see, the leaderboard already looks a little different now that we got that the first contributor up there. All right. So thank you, Dick. I appreciate that very, very much. And thank you for getting the momentum going. Now let's continue, right? Let's keep that momentum going in the right direction. Good morning, Game Boy. How you doing? How's everyone doing this morning? What's up, Avarice? A lot of people are just showing up and saying hello. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Okay. Oh, the polls. Duh, I got distracted. Let's do these polls right now. All right. So let's do them on both sides here. Poll. So, which marathon should DSP do this week? Option 1, Rage-a-thon. Option 2, Mega Man 1 through 6 challenge run. Option 3, Dino Crisis. Okay. Let's have it run the maximum. And then I'm going to do the same poll over on the YouTube side. Marathon with DSP do this week. Rageathon, Mega Man 1 through 6 challenge run, or Dino Crisis. Here we go. All right, polls are going live on both chats. Please vote, whether you're watching live on YouTube or on Kick. I'd love to hear your opinion. Obviously, if you're watching this on demand, I'd like your opinion too. Please share in the comments. All right, Hypnotic Jinx with a $20 super chat this morning says, let's get the marathon going, boys and girls. Thank you, Hypnotic Jinx. That's our first super chat of the day. By the way, are the pop-ups working? Did that pop up when Jinx just contributed? Because I didn't see. I was doing the polls. Hopefully it's working. So thank you, Jinx, for a $20 super chat. That gets us up to $35 of support and climbing so far today. A great start. Thank you, Jinx. All right. It did show up? Good. Thank you for telling me. All right. So, good stuff. Please vote. And here's the thing. I'm glad we're doing this today because we have to figure out, for example, let's say that Rageathon wins, okay? And we decide we want to do a Rageathon, which I'm okay with. We got to figure out what games. And I don't know what games at all you guys would be interested in seeing me play that you think would be rage-inducing. It could be games I already have that you know I play and I rage at, like maybe Street Fighter, or it could be brand new games I never heard of, right? Again, I'm open to that. You know, you guys support me so much. I don't care if I have to buy a few games to do a marathon. I mean, the whole reason we're doing the marathon is because of your overwhelming support. So I'm down for that. You know, now I have that flexibility to do stuff like that, which is really cool. Okay, so please vote. Let's have them roll. They're going to keep rolling for another 3-4 minutes here, and then I'll let you know the results. Okay, so real quick, let's talk about yesterday, okay? Yesterday was great. I had a great return day to streaming yesterday, so thanks to everyone who hung out and supported the streams yesterday. First stream was Dark Souls mods, you know, the remastered mod, which is a graphical mod, plus the Age of Sunlight mod, which is a gameplay mod. I had a ton of fun in Dark Souls yesterday. I had forgotten basically how awesome Dark Souls is in regards to it being an open world where everything is connected. Because I was playing and I was like, so we found the back way to Blighttown. And it was funny because with this mod, Blighttown, as everyone knows, infamously was a very badly performing part of the game. Like, it would run horribly. It would be choppy. And because of that, enemies would be sniping you and poisoning you. And it would just be a nightmare to play Blighttown. And it was really the graphical big hiccup of the game. Well, guess what? It runs beautifully with this version on PC. But with this graphical mod, parts of it are incredibly poorly lit, so you can't see anyway. So it's kind of like, so now the game runs well, but now you're overwhelmed with these graphics that, like, it's hard to see. So it's a different reason why it's challenging in this part. But man, yesterday we had giant progress. We got through all of Blighttown. We fought Quelaag. We actually went further in and we fought Ceaseless Discharge. Then we backtracked and we went back to Sen's Fortress and we beat all of Sen's Fortress. We got to In Orlando. We actually did a bunch of big upgrades to weapons. I wanted to try a different weapon, so I think I'm using the Bardish or Bardiche now, however you say it, because that has giant range, like a big sweeping attack. I like that. So, yeah, tried out some different things. And overall, really great stuff. Although I realized, man, I skipped stuff blatantly. Like I didn't ever fight Capra Demon. I didn't go to the depths and fight the Gaping Dragon. I'm like, yeah, that's the beauty of Dark Souls 1 is that there's all these different ways to do things. You don't have to do them in one set way. You could beat the game in different order. You could skip entire portions of the game. So now we're in Inner Orlando, and next time when we play, we're probably going to go into the Painted World. I don't see why not, because we have the item to do it, the Peculiar Doll. We already got it. So, yeah, more Dark Souls coming later this week, and I'm excited for that. The playthrough's been doing really well. People are excited for it. Me too. So, more coming, okay? And then last night, it was the premiere of my year-end series, the top 20 most disappointing playthroughs of 2024. And the truth is, a lot of people were shocked. I don't know why. It's almost like people weren't paying attention in 2024 or something. But, you know, the trend last year was basically, I can't really play RPGs these days. Every RPG that I've tried, whether it was a good one or a bad one, because there is a combination of the game not being very good versus the game being great, but still not being able to hold attendance and support, right? And so, yeah, like some of the stuff on there was cool because you got to see some of the games that sadly just weren't that good. But then there was games that I actually really liked, but it was disappointing because I couldn't get people to come back to engage and support with the content. Cases in point, Multiverses, Marvel Rivals, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, just to name a few of the games that I feel were good, but I couldn't get them to click with the audience, right? Now, the thing is, it's not like I couldn't get anything to click with an audience. There's been tons of games that I've played that worked really well. Pretty much any Soulsborne or Souls-like I played in 2024 worked perfectly. Whether it was actually Elden Ring and its DLC, whether it was another Crab's Treasure, you know, those games worked. I mean, even the Bloodborne run on PS5 Pro did well, right? Fighting games, they still managed to do pretty well. Whether it's me returning to Street Fighter 6 or playing some classics like the Marvel Collection, it does good. Even the month and a half that I did of Tekken 8, you know, people liked. You know, anything that's pretty much action-based or a hot new release, and even this year, some good indie games, right? That they all resonated and they clicked. It just seemed the running pattern was these kind of multiplayer games where, for whatever reason, it's not the genres that you guys are used to. Like Multiverses is more kind of an arena party style, almost Smash Brothers like fighting game, while Marvel Rivals plays like Overwatch. And for some reason, people just didn't really want to watch those more than a couple streams. Same thing with these RPGs. You know, RPG Overload was a major thing in 2024. And I'm sorry to say, I can't make people show up, engage, and support with certain kinds of games. I do my best to make them entertaining. You know, when you're doing an RPG and you realize there's going to be a big dungeon you're grinding in, and it's going to be kind of repetitive, have some fun, casual conversation, right? Open it up. Let's talk. But what ends up happening is some people just get turned off. They don't want to show up to the RPG streams. Oh, that's a JRPG. Yeah, it's going to be boring. And then they just write it off. It's a shame because over the years, as you know, I feel like some of the best playthroughs I've ever done were more social experiences, more so than they were gameplay-centered experiences. You know, Dragon Quest XI, that's a game that basically was two entire different plots. And it worked. It was actually one of my more successful playthroughs, but it was because we had a group of maybe, I'm not even kidding, probably about 50 people who really liked RPGs and kept showing up. And we had some really awesome nights just chatting it up, having a good time, talking about life and other things while enjoying an RPG. It wasn't always about just the game. I just wish that more people would be like that. They would come and hang out. Instead of it always being about the game, it would be more about just hang out with us and have a good time. Maybe it's not even a game you like, but you can still have fun conversation, right? But no lie, there were some games this year that I said, let's just turn off the game and do a Q&A. And the Q&A segment of me just talking with you guys would actually bring in more viewers, engagement, and support than me playing the game. And that's sad because I feel like in the past that wasn't the case, that there were times when I could play whatever I wanted and people would just show up and hang out. And that's just not the case anymore. It could be many different factors, you know, but the fact is people do like me and my content, but they don't show up for certain things. And I can't change that. All I can do is try to convince people to give it a shot, But if they won't, if they're kind of prejudiced against it, which I really, be honest, I think they are. I think that there are people who like JRPGs. They're just not my viewers anymore. Those people have moved on and gone to other communities and stuff that focus solely on that, which I'm not going to do that. I'm a variety creator. I think, honestly, it was Baldur's Gate 3 that tipped the scales there, because Baldur's Gate 3 was a 140-hour playthrough. It took 3 to 4 months to beat, and I think some people just lost their patience. They didn't want to stick around because they weren't interested in RPGs, and I played it for so long, they were like, screw this. And then every other RPG that I played after kind of became the brunt of that anger, that Phil spent 3 to 4 months playing this instead of other games, and we're upset because we wanted to see him play other games. And that's what I said. I really feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to be the last insanely long RPG I ever play. Like, it just doesn't fit my style of content. If I was the kind of person who would play the same game for 3 to 4 weeks in a row and not change games, then we could play a Baldur's Gate 3. But that's just not me. I have an audience that likes the fact that I play variety, right? So anyway, in regards to this, I urge you, watch the countdown from last night. I would love to have some discussion around it. Of course, I just love how you get people who, they're so toxic and negative, right? Instead of treating this as an opportunity for us to have like constructive conversation, instead they come, well, it's all your fault because you're a piece of shit and you suck and your content sucks. Okay, so you're saying nothing. You're an idiot. If you don't like me, then you're never going to like me. It doesn't matter if I'm playing a fighting game, if I'm playing a Soulsborne game, if I'm playing a JRPG. If you don't like me, you don't like me, right? Like, so your opinion is invalid because it's not who I'm looking to try to listen to help and improve. Telling me I suck doesn't help the content, all right? Telling me how to improve would help the content. But that's the funny part. Everyone wants to say, it's your fault. Okay, so what did I do wrong when I played JRPGs? How can I be better? No one has the answer. So then you don't actually have a valid opinion. You don't. Your valid opinion is, okay, I didn't like it, and here's why, and here's what you can improve. That's constructive criticism. That's a valid opinion, not just, you suck. And of course, the other thing is people who are upset because they want, Rare Tricks, you gifted a sub. I'll check in a second. Thank you for telling me. Again, for some reason, the pop-ups on Kick aren't very good, so I keep missing them. Please always tell me when you contribute, and I swear I'll shout that out in a second. The other thing is, in regards to, these playthroughs that fail, or not necessarily fail, but people won't engage with them. So then I said, in 2024, by far, this was the year that I took control of my content. And I said, listen, if people aren't going to show up, they're not going to engage, and they're not going to support a certain playthrough, I'm going to move on. We have many, many options of things to do. It's not like I have a lack of options or content. In fact, I have an overabundance of things to do. So if we try something and it doesn't work, we're not committed to having to do it. We'll go to something else. So now, of course, these people turned it into another negative meme. Oh, Phil only plays games for money and then he wage quits, right? Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you a question? Can you name me a single business, successful business on planet Earth that they try something, whether they're creating a product or they're doing a service or whatever it is that they produce, the customers don't like it, but just on principle, they decide to keep doing it anyway? Does that sound like smart business? Does that sound like something an intelligent business would do to stay afloat? Let's just keep doing the thing that no one wants and is failing. No, right? Like, could you think of any business that would do that? No. But because I'm doing it, it's not good, right? I listen to the feedback of my audience. If they say, listen, we don't want to see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, move on and do other stuff. Okay. So I stop playing. He quit. He's a quitter. He only plays for money. I'm running a business. This is not Phil is a millionaire because I won the lotto or I have rich parents or something. You know what I mean? And streaming is my hobby. No, that's not the case. It's my job. It's what I do to support my family. It's what I do to maintain a living, to pay for the mortgage on this house, to keep this set going, to keep you know what I mean? I need to be successful. It just doesn't make sense. When you criticize me like that, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's called moving the goalpost, right? So previously, if I had played a game and it wasn't working, but I stuck to it, for example, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, that absolutely happened. People were saying we don't like it, do other stuff. And I said, well, listen, I like it. I'm going to keep playing it. I played it to the end. I got nothing but complaints from mainstream viewers the entire playthrough. They're like, move on, move on, move on. No, I'm going to stick to my guns and beat it. So I beat it. I get told I've done the wrong thing. You really screwed up. You should have been doing other stuff. You should have dropped the game. So then when the next game comes along and the same thing happens and I get the same feedback, okay, I'll listen to you. I'm going to drop the playthrough. You're doing the wrong thing, Phil. You should have stuck with it. Wait, what? Yeah, you rage quit that game. What's wrong with you? Huh? See? So there doesn't matter what I do at all. I'm always in the wrong. Okay? That's why when I get dumb feedback like that, I just don't listen anymore. Because there is a difference between, again, constructive versus destructive. I want to help you. Here's how to improve versus you're just always in the wrong no matter what. I've totally stopped paying attention to the latter, and I'm very appreciative of the former. The reason that I'm still here today is because I'm getting positive, constructive criticism from you guys. So thank you to those of you who are trying to help, who are sharing your thoughts and actually giving me some constructive stuff. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Now, in regards to this moving forward, we're going to have to take a look at various different games and see what works and what doesn't. You know, I think one thing that I've been really enjoyed doing in the last couple of months is testing the waters with indie games and stuff like that and just throwing them into the schedule every once in a while. Balatro, that's a game that I would have never played, but because I gave it a shot, it worked for a couple of streams. I don't have to play it all the time, but interjected every once in a while for variety, right? The coin game, same thing. And now Killer Frequency, where I played it last week, had a good time with it. We enjoyed the stream. I'll just throw it in every once in a while. Don't have to do it all the time, but it's good for variety. I like that. I like that flexibility. And I'm glad that I'm doing stuff like that now. And I think that seeing that you guys have suggested, you know, these kind of games, hey, try them every once in a while. This has been a great new thing for the schedule and for the gameplay we're doing. And I really like that. And I want to keep doing that. If there's other indie games and things that I'm missing out on that you guys think would be great for me to try, please continue to suggest them. Please continue to remind me of them. I would like to try those out and throw them into the schedule when I get the availability for that. So, thank you for your honesty for those who actually care. For all of the white noise of the idiots who just say everything I do is wrong and it's all my fault. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to you. You're just a bunch of fucking whiny bitches that no one cares about, and nothing you say is ever going to help me. So I'm just going to ignore the nonsense, okay? So anyway, enjoy the most disappointing playthroughs of 2024 countdown from last night. I hope you'll enjoy it. It's 2 parts, 2 hours, took 2 hours to get through, okay? So it was great. Yesterday was great. 3 goals hit. We are on pace to do the marathon as early as Wednesday. If we can hit 2 more goals between today and tomorrow, we're definitely doing this marathon on Wednesday. Now, preliminary results are in. People seem to want a Rageathon, okay? Now, I'm down for that. But if you guys want a Rageathon, I need to know exactly how this is going to work. What games would you like to see in this Rageathon? Should it be games that I've already played, like Street Fighter, where you know I always rage when I play Street Fighter? Call of Duty, you know I rage when I play Call of Duty. Or do you want to see brand new games? And if so, what games? I wonder, which would you like, right? So how do I do this? Do I put up a poll? We could put up not a poll, a thread. Do you want to post up a thread on DSPGaming where people could start nominating stuff? We could do that. Marvel 2? I don't think Marvel 2 has really caused me too much rage. In fact, I dominate when I play Marvel 2. I usually spank everybody, right? Hotline Miami, I've already played that. I've already played all Hotline Miami, 1 and 2, right? I think I beat both games. Donkey Kong 64, I mean, the problem with that is viability. Like, how would I play Donkey Kong 64? How did I play it last time? How did I play it last time? Does anyone remember? I actually don't remember how I played it. Fortnite? That's a possibility. I haven't played Fortnite in ages. I don't even know what it's like anymore. Rayman, that's a tough platformer. Fall Guys? I don't know if that would cause me rage. This is X Shooter says, "What is this?" People are just noticing this. We're 6 days into the month, and people are just noticing my portal gun. It's a portal gun replica. It's miniature though. It's not life size. I mean, it's very small. See, doesn't work either. It was supposed to work if you put batteries in it, and I put batteries in it, and it doesn't even turn on anymore. I think it used to light up orange and blue if you held the button down, but now it doesn't even work. But yeah, it's over a decade old. And I never really used it for anything, but there you go. Portal gun replica. I wonder how many people even remember the portal gun. Because Portal 2 is so old. It's over a decade old, right? So no one really talks about Portal anymore. It's just a shame that Valve forgets about all their games, right? It's just sad that at one point Valve was such a huge game developer and now they don't make games anymore. It really is. So I don't know. Like, what do we do? Do you guys think I should post up a thread on DSPGaming for you guys to start nominating games? Because if we end up doing this like Wednesday, we need to get nominations in right away, you know? Oh, I know the classic Mega Man games are rage-inducing. That's for sure. Crash? Yeah, but again, I've already played Crash Bandicoot. That's the thing, you know, I understand people are like, oh, we like when Phil rages. That's great, but what could you think of that would make me rage at this point? I've kind of played everything, you know? Like, I've kind of been there, done that with most of these games, so I don't really know what would be rage-inducing at this point. I know, that's actually quite true. Avarice says, troubleshooting tech issues is rage-inducing. I think the tech issues I've had in the last month have induced more rage than any game recently. Seriously. These tech issues is I just want to get over them. I just want to get past them and be like, have a consistent setup that just works, no problems, ease of use, moving forward. But every day it's something new. I'm shocked the leaderboard hasn't exploded so far. Like that the letters didn't like pop all over the screen, fuck up, and you know, crash the stream or something. Call of Duty Hardcore? We could do that. We could do hardcore multiplayer. Okay, I just want to say something too. I want everyone to understand. For example, if we do this Rage-a-thon, which it seems like that's what people voted for, that's what they want. Understand, this is not the end of it. Like people are, oh, no, we're not going to get Dino Crisis. Now we're not going to get Mega Man. Guys, this running goals, right, is how we're doing things from now on. So we just hit 50. That's the goal. When we hit 100, it's a viewer's choice marathon. Then it resets. And then we do 50 again, we do another marathon. You see? So this is going to be running all year. We're probably going to do many marathons that are exciting and themed because of you and your support. So you don't have to worry. You just don't have to worry at all. Okay? I can't wait. I can't wait for future marathons. I can't wait for fun stuff. I don't know. What do you think? Should we do a thread right now where people start suggesting games, or I don't know. What do you want to do? Yes, that's what I just said. I said at 100 we're going to do viewer's choice. I was not listening. Oh, what's Tetris Effect? I've heard about people talking about Tetris Effect, but I don't know what that is. I've never played it. XCOM. See, here's the thing. That's the other thing about Rage-a-thons. You have to pick a game that I can get into within like a half an hour. It can't be, oh, Rage-a-thon. This game has a 45-minute intro. I'm never going to get to the game. There's no point, right? Well, Drew Corporation says maybe you should wait for the weekend for the marathon. Number one, Saturdays are my day off. Okay, that's number one. Number two, people don't want to wait around for the reward, especially if, for example, let's say today we hit one goal. Let's say tomorrow we hit one goal. If I wait till the weekend for the marathon, why would people want to keep going with the goals? They'd be like, well, you didn't give us our last reward, right? I do have to kind of give you guys the rewards really quickly, within a few days, within reason too. Obviously, if there's a reason why I can't do a special event right away, but in this case, I think we want to do stuff timely, right? Or else, well, let's say, for example, we hit the goal, but I'm not going to do the marathon till Sunday. Okay, so now we have 3 more streaming days. People are going to be like, well, you didn't give us our reward. They're going to be upset. Jump King? Did I play Jump King before? I swear I did. I'm pretty sure we played Jump King before. You see what I mean? See, the idea of the Rageathon on paper, it sounds good. Let's get games that will make Phil be raging all day. And he'll be drinking too, right? So he'll be performing poorly in the games and then he'll be raging. But then when you start to think about the viability of it, well, how viable would the Rageathon be? Well, I don't know, right? Like, what would actually make the Rageathon be better? Well, you need rage-inducing games. How do we determine those? Crash Team Racing, I already played that. Jump King, I already played that. You want to see something original and different and fun that I've never done that's going to cause rage. I've already played a lot of these games. Here's the funny part, because if you guys haven't noticed this morning, and this has also been going around, it's all detractor shit. If these people think I'm dumb or something. So here's the new thing. Well, Phil, you're a bunch of whales, and these whales come by every day and they support you. So you should just let them dictate everything you do, because then obviously you'll stay in business, right? And here's the funny part about that. If you have an issue with people who like my content and come by and support it, all right? Number one, I know you're jealous. It's just this the truth. You're a jealous motherfucker who wishes that you had someone who liked you and your content and would actually come support you. That's the only reason you have an issue with someone coming by and being a big supporter of my content. That's number one. Okay. Number two, then if that's the case, then why don't you contribute too? Think about this, right? If the issue is that there's a bunch of people who come by every day and they support, but it's only a small group of people, well, then don't you think that if others supported, then it would negate that? Instead of sitting around and whining and complaining and saying, I'm so upset that just a small group of people support Phil, then if you came by every day and you said, well, I'd like you to do something different than what you're doing, and here's $5, to show you that there's effort towards that we would actually support other things than just the things that your whales come by to support, right? Then maybe it would change that. But instead, people just sit around whining. Like, these people on the internet are unbelievable. I swear, these are the most miserable people. They can't be happy for anyone. They can't enjoy anything. Instead, it's just how everything around them is wrong and unfair and, deride it for this, bring it down for this, tear it down for this. Nothing has a point. There's no point. Even if I have 5,000 people today who give me $1, or if one person gave me $5,000, it doesn't matter. You understand that? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how we get there. It's that you get there. And then what content you put out in the meantime, is it fun? Is it entertaining? Is it positive? Right? That's what matters. As long as I'm working and putting out good content and I got people coming by and supporting me, I don't care how we get there. Now, if you have an issue with the way that we got there, then change it. You change it, not me. I can't change it. I can't make people come to my stream and contribute. As crazy as this sounds, all right? Because some people actually think that I am some kind of like a crazy mind-washing cult leader. I don't brainwash people to contribute to me. That's never happened, okay? Never. People come and contribute because they like the content, because they like me. That's why they're here to support. If it's 5 people today who majorly contribute and I hit my goals, or if it's 50 people today who contribute and I hit my goals, I still hit my goals. I can't make a certain person show up and contribute or not contribute. So the fact that anyone tries to hold that against me as a fact of like, oh, you're failing or you're doing well, none of that makes any sense. You're a moron. And no one should have issue with that either. Who cares? Who's contributing, who's not contributing? How does this have anything to do with me or anyone's power? It doesn't. Like, and why is it your business? You know, does anyone who's a successful streamer, does everyone go and look at all of their finances to see who specifically contributed what and how many? No, only me. Because again, hyper-focused, over-obsessed people, no lives, no jobs, no anything going for them, just sitting around on the internet being toxic all day. Okay? It's fucked up. And I have to deal with that every day. So it's the funny part. Like, if you have an issue, well, man, the same 5 people come and support Phil every day. Then why aren't you? If you like the content, why don't you support content you want to see? Say, hey, Phil, I would love and I would support this other game you're not playing right now. Please consider it, and then contribute. And then maybe other people would say, wait, that's true. I want that too. And then we could do other stuff, right? But I mean, again, it's called business. I am not a big time dude. I don't get hundreds of thousands of views a day. I don't get 1,000 viewers on stream a day. I don't have the ability to just do whatever I want and the flexibility to do whatever I want. I have to play what people want so people will support. That's called business. I'm a small business owner. Do you get it? I'm not a ginormous million sub YouTuber who went viral. I'm a small time dude and I'm happy with that. But that's very different. And I'm tired of these morons who think that they know everything, who know nothing, or because if they knew anything, they'd be successful YouTubers. And they're not. So instead, they just sit there and they're miserable that someone would come by and support me, right? So anyway, can we get back on topic now instead of listening to morons? That'd be great. I would love to know what we should do for this Rageathon if that's what we're doing, right? Totally. I'm down for that. All right, I'm being told that I need to do shout outs. So let me take a look. I was trying to stay on topic, but I'm being told that I need to do shout outs. Okay. So let's take a look at Kick, because apparently I missed stuff on Kick and I just want to confirm what I missed and didn't miss. Let's see here. Yeah, yesterday on Kick sucked. Yesterday, no contributions on Kick. Wow, 0. I had 0 contributions on Kick yesterday. Sheesh. Okay, Rare Tricks did gift a subscription this morning. Thank you, Rare Tricks. That's what I missed. 1 gifted sub from Rare Tricks. Okay, let's get that up on the leaderboard. And thank you, Rare Tricks. Again, my apologies, because Kick does, for some reason, Kick isn't really working well with the pop-ups and stuff. It used to be more prominent when someone contributed, and now it's not. So now I guess I just have to periodically go check manually to see if anything came in. It used to be way more prominent when people contributed over there. And now it's kind of like it's hard to even see when people are gifting and stuff, unless there's like a ton. Like if someone drops a bomb of 10, then it's easy to see because the whole screen floods. But when someone gifts like 1, it's like gone in like seconds and I don't even get to see it. So thank you so much, Rare Tricks. And my apologies that I didn't shout it out right away. I didn't see it. We got a couple of tips that have come in that I need to shout out. Jinx is saying that there's no mods on YouTube. Yeah, it is what it is. Some days we have mods, some days we don't. I'm well aware that there's morons in there saying dumb shit. But as you can see, I'm running the show. I'm not really paying attention to it. If you see someone specific who's being a jerk, let me know. Tag me and give me their name, and I'll take a look. But I'm just trying to pay attention to the show and not pay attention to the idiots in chat. Okay. So some shout outs. First tip of the day is $5.02. Let me go ahead to, here we go. Thank you for the $5 tip. Let's read what it says first. Man, what the fuck was this past year? I know your game of the year countdown is today, and I don't typically tip, but I wanted to offer my 2 cents and $5. Did we get a single game in 2024 that was genuinely new and good? There was a gazillion sequels. There was a metaphor, and I guess, but that is just kind of like medieval Persona. The Indiana Jones game and Marvel Rival games are both cool, but they're basically licensed titles. Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade were good, but not that good. Is the best example actually Balatro? Really, a card game? Wait, I've got it. Maybe the best game of the year was a hermit crab. What the hell happened to the industry? From Disgruntled Grammar. Disgruntled Grammar. I mean, yeah, to be honest, like I've talked about, I do feel that last year was incredibly underwhelming for games. I just, I feel like the industry let us down when it came to all the big releases that we were hyped for. Most of them weren't very good, or if they were just underwhelming. Games that were question marks, like Star Wars Outlaws and stuff, just weren't very good. And then we did have some solid entries. We had some shocking entries. See, the thing is, I don't really want to mention it because tonight is my top 10 best playthrough, or excuse me, top 20 best playthroughs countdown. So I kind of don't want to spoil what I'm going to say are the best things of the year. Definitely Another Crab's Treasure, which is what he was referencing, or she was referencing there, is definitely one of the games that I thought was one of the best of the year. But it was just a bizarre year where most of the good games were RPGs, but it's hard to recognize a good game when there's another 17 of the same genre that came out in the same year. It's just oversaturation. So you couldn't really enjoy the best games because they were too similar. So then what's left? Underperforming game, disappointing game, woke game, joke game. Yeah, it was just a weird year. I really hope 2025 is better. Listen, I don't mind hanging out with you guys and playing indie games and having a fun time. I really don't. Like Balatro, Coin Game, Killer Frequency, smaller style games such as Another Crab's Treasure. I'm down for playing those games with all of you and having a good time. But man, would I like to have a year where we actually have some big games that are good, AAA games that don't suck. That would be nice, because that's all I used to play. I used to only play AAA games, and it used to be great. And now it's like the industry just doesn't support it anymore. The games that come out are freaking just really disappointing. Okay, I received a $2 tip. This I completely understand. I can't contribute publicly because your detractors spam my old YouTube channel, and so I had to delete it. Yeah, and I'm sorry to say, this is the problem with being mass harassed and stuff like that. Like, it's funny because people say to me, "Well, Phil, the reason that you're not a big YouTuber is because you don't just play whatever you want." Well, I can't play whatever I want because then I don't get support, right? I have to play what people want. Oh, well, then, you should just become mainstream popular and then you can play whatever you want. What? What are you even talking about? How could I ever become mainstream popular? There's literally a group of people who are so unhinged, who are so antisocial, they are sociopaths, that if someone just happens to find me in my content, a newcomer, and they come to the channel and they say, "Hey, I want to hang out for a few days," and they do, these people then stalk them. They go to their social media. They go to their YouTube page. They go to everything. They leave nasty comments. They fucking do everything they can to harass them. Does that have anything to do with me? No. That has to do with a bunch of obsessed, crazy people. And so you should just become more popular. How would I do that exactly? When anyone who's new even shows up and shows a tiny piece of positivity, they get harassed by crazy people. So how could I do anything to fix that situation exactly? You have to understand, it doesn't matter how much I change for the better. It doesn't matter, how much, I listen to feedback. It's never good enough for crazy people. You get it? Like, let's look at me now compared to a few years ago. A few years ago where my setup sucked. I was constantly complaining that I was broke and all this kind of shit. Now, everything's different. Okay. But it's still not good enough. I'm still a bad person. I'm still doing the wrong things. I'm still e-begging. I'm still wage quitting. The bar will never stop being moved. All right. So this is pretty messed up that there's people who just want to come by and discover me and be like, oh, this is good stuff. Let's hang out. And then it gets ruined by these mentally ill people. But that's the point I'm making. What it is with these people is they've created a vicious cycle. They realize that if they sit around and create toxicity around me, then the content gets made. They make money on it. Then I can't become a bigger content creator because anyone who comes by to hang out with me and enjoy my stuff gets harassed by people on the internet because there's a ton of content out there that says I'm a bad person, even though it's all slanderous and defamatory and false. Doesn't matter because it's a vicious cycle. As long as they keep making me look like a horrible person, they make money, they get popularity, and then more people believe it, and then more people harass my viewers and fans, and the cycle continues. It's pretty fucked up. Let's continue. Yes, Disgruntled Grammar, thank you for the tip. They did another $1 tip as a follow-up because I hadn't shouted out tips. And so they were like, did my tip go through? It did go through. And my apologies. I was trying to play catch up here with contributions today. So thank you, Disgruntled Grammar. But no, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the industry right now with games and everything. You know, I'm really hoping that in 2025, yes, I'm okay with playing indie games that are great, but please give us some big games that are good too. Not that every major AAA studio falters and fails and makes crappy games now. I just don't get it. Okay. Yeah, and I see now people are talking about it in chat, you know, relative newcomers, people who the last few months have been very supportive and they've all been harassed. It's like, so what did I do to deserve that? What did they do to deserve that? We didn't do anything. We sit here in our lane, hanging out, having a good time, and not bothering anyone, right? Keemstar said it himself, you know, talking about review tech and how crazy obsessed he is with me and stuff, right? And he said it his best. He's like, listen, you don't have to love DSP or whatever, but he doesn't bother anyone. So why would you ever care? Why would you harass him? Why would you make fun of him? No one, you know, he doesn't do nothing. He just sits around and makes his content for his audience. So why would you even bother with the guy? Why would you be obsessed with him? He's right. Keemstar is right. There's no reason for anyone to care except those who like my content. That's it. If you don't like me and my content, I'm not harming anyone. I'm not going out of my way to hurt people. You know, I'm not recruiting armies of children and corrupting them. So what is your problem with me? Yeah, listen, Copeem says, imagine tracking someone down at their place of business and yelling at them because earlier in the day they bought a ham sandwich somewhere. Who cares? You're right. You're absolutely right. Like, think of it this way. Actually, this would probably be a real life example. Let's say for some reason you're very anti-Christian. This is just a hypothetical. Let's say you're very anti-Christian. So you sit outside of the local Chick-fil-A because you know that Chick-fil-A is owned by Christians, okay? You watch someone buy a chicken sandwich. You watch them eat the chicken sandwich and enjoy it. And then you follow them home. And outside of their house, you start to a protest and say, down with this person, they ate the Christian chicken sandwich. Or you go to their place of work and you start Did you know that someone inside that building ate a Christian chicken sandwich? Like, what? What are you talking about? That's how these people act. Someone came to Phil's stream, tossed him $5 because they like his content, and then they went about their merry way in the rest of their life. And then you left the stream and followed them to their social media, to their personal accounts, to their real life content, to their real life stuff. And you harassed them because they donated $5 to Phil. What? But I'm the one who's crazy. I'm the one who's in the wrong because I make content, because I stream, because I enjoy my life, because I like games, because I hang out with people. I'm the problem? No. Sorry, you've exposed yourselves. You're the fucking problem. You're the weirdos, not me. See, I don't know. Lorraine says, do you think it would end if you worked a random regular job, or does it end on the internet? Who knows? But again, these people are crazy stalkerish. Crazy stalkerish. You've seen some of the things that they've said and done. They've tried to intervene with simple things like, oh, I'm ordering food for an event, and they would try to mess with the store that I've announced that I'm going to order food from. You know, they literally try to intervene with real life stuff. You know, they've harassed people around me that literally have no association with me just because they're in proximity to me in real life. So just think about that. You know, maybe if I were to quit and shut down everything completely, 100%, and say, I will not stream ever again, and I went out and I tried to have a real job offline, I bet people would still stalk. I mean, right. With Rings of Redemption, he tried to do, what was it, a DoorDash job, and they got him fired from DoorDash. You know, he didn't do nothing wrong. They just did what they could to hurt. Because again, these people are unhinged. And this is what I mean. When you support these YouTubers who are doing toxic content, you don't understand that they are grooming an entire generation of people to be awful people. I'm going to repeat what I just said, okay? Because I think this is something important that people need to start calling out. This is very, very important that everyone understand this, okay? If you support toxic YouTubers who all they do is stalk and harass people, you are supporting people who are grooming a generation of people to be antisocial sociopaths. And you are telling everyone that's okay. If you watch that content and you support that toxic content, that all they do is hate on someone, they slander someone, they crap on someone constantly, you are telling a whole generation of people it is okay to behave like that. And it's not. What's going to end up happening, we're going to have an entire generation of people who are just sitting on the internet all day, antisocial, who are trying to ruin other people's lives. That's not good. That's not even acceptable. That's a societal problem that we're going to have to now tackle, because we have an entire generation growing up where all their social interactions are on the internet. They only have friendships. They only have these relationships with people on the internet. They don't even have anything in real life that's real. That's fucked up. You have to have that real life connection, that real life stuff, a real life of your own, friends and family and a job and meaningful stuff. You can't just sit on the internet crapping on people all day. And there's people that this is it. So now you've allowed people to monetize the hate. You've allowed people to make livings off of it. Guess what? You're fucking up society. YouTube is majorly to blame for this because they don't care. They have no morals or values. As long as the money rolls in, they'll monetize anything. That's messed up. That should not be allowed to continue. I feel like laws should be in place against it. Why are you allowed to monetize actual lies? How does that make sense? I don't get it. Because, offline, this shit doesn't fly. But online, everything goes. I don't get it. I need to win the lotto. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. First of all, I've already said this. If I ever, or somehow, by some random chance, became actually like affluent, all right, I would still make content. I want to make this clear. I would still make content. I would still, put out streams. I would still play games. It would definitely be less. It definitely would be at a smaller scale. But I would still do it because I love it. Like, I actually have passion for this. It's not just to make a paycheck. It's because I actually enjoy myself. Okay. And I love it. I love hanging out with you guys. I love the interactions we have. I do. That's what I'm really here for. I'm not here to, print money. That's, if that were the case, I would be doing 20 other things that are more profitable than this. Because how many opportunities? I just had the opportunity months ago to get into drama content, and I didn't. I could have done that, and I could have been way more profitable, but I don't care about that, right? I stuck to my guns. But anyway, yeah, like, If I ever were to become affluent, you know, maybe that I would have to start something in regards to showing everyone that you can't just say and do whatever the fuck you want. You can't create an entire toxic community of sociopathic people and tell them it's okay to go harass people. You can't make a video outright lying about what someone said and then try to mobilize people against them. That's illegal. It always has been, but no one takes action for it, which is ridiculous. Nothing. Nothing would make me quit content creation for good. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Okay? It's this simple. I will quit when I feel like it, when I'm well and good, when I'm ready and I make the decision. Okay? It's not going to be this person says I'm done or this, it's me. I'm the one who controls my destiny. All right? I'll be here streaming and making content for you guys every day until I feel so fit that I don't want to do it anymore. Okay? I'm in control. Nobody else. Or else, it would have been a long time ago when I would have stepped down and said, fuck this, it's not worth it. I'm not going anywhere. It's all good, Lookcrafty and Arcade. Good to see you. If I got a fixed monthly wage from YouTube, what would I play? Like, to be honest with you guys, I would always have a chill RPG in the rotation. Always. Always. I would always want to have a relaxing game that's an RPG style game where we can hang out and have fun. All right. While we're also having social interactions with a game. Like, it's not just about the game. The thing is, like, I can't do that right now. Like, that's what I would like to have more flexibility of, to play maybe a chill game all the time, right? Hypnotic Jinx, thanks for a $20 super chat. He says, I donate, but I'm not trying to dictate what you do. I enjoy your take on any game that you play, and we all have a good time together watching. So stop saying that whales tell Phil what to do. They don't. They don't tell me what to do at all. In fact, it's funny because, and by the way, Ashton is in chat, and I'm about to make the announcement now that he's here. Now's a good time to make the announcement about tomorrow's wrestling show. So I'm going to show you guys something really cool in just a sec here. No, in regards to this, it's funny. You ever see someone who's a big contributor of mine coming by and demanding that I play or do something? Have you ever seen that? I don't recall. I mean, maybe years and years and years ago when you had, I just screwed that up. No, I did it right. When you had, guys like that Tutankhamun guy and shit like that, right? And they were like, you should play Street Fighter 5 and shit. But it's been so long. The people who come by and hang out and support in big ways enjoy the content. And they come by and support anything. Like, we had people coming by supporting Killer Frequency, but also fighting games like Street Fighter 6, but also Stalker 2, Indiana Jones. Does any of that sound like a common game? They're all different. They're not coming by and demanding that I play this game or this game or this game. Here's the pattern. When I play certain games like these JRPGs, that's when no one shows up and does the big support. You notice that? That's the real pattern here, right? If anything, I just feel like they're not mainstream enough. Is there an audience for JRPGs? Yes. It's not my audience. It's just too small of a slice of the pie that cares about JRPGs, and that sucks because I love them. It's one of the games I would love to play more and more. Thank you, Jinx, for the super chat. Okay, let's do this, guys. Now that Ashton's here, right now, it gets me back on track. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, in place of this podcast, we got something special going on. Tomorrow, for the first time in over a decade, I will be doing wrestling commentary. Okay? Over a decade ago, for several years, I had a wrestling show. Okay? It was called Smart Guys. And it was a show where I did with my friend and co-host John Rambo. And every week we would watch pro wrestling and we would comment on it, whether it was WWE or at that time, their major competitor was Impact Wrestling / TNA / whatever the hell their name is today. I have no idea. And then every once in a while, we would talk a little bit about something else. I mean, hell, during the run of that show, we actually attended WrestleMania and talked about it live on the show, which was really cool. It was, wrestling's been a part of my life for a long time. And what happened was two key factors happened that got me out of pro wrestling. Okay. Factor number one, I moved across the country. And when I did, I had a falling out with Rambo. And we actually had plans to continue with the show, but it never happened. And so I always kind of threw the idea out, hey, you think I should do another pro wrestling show with someone? Any idea? And at the time, now this was 10 years ago, people were like, if it ain't with Rambo, then just never do it because it wouldn't be appropriate. Okay. But it's been 10 years. 10 years have passed. Things are very different. I'm a different person. The world is a very different person now. All right. The world is a very different person now. Of course it's. The world is a very different place now. Excuse me. And so times are changing. Now, the other factor, I stayed a fan of pro wrestling over the last decade. The first 5 years, I was heavily into it. I was watching Raw and SmackDown, and for a while there, WWE Network had all the WWE content. So I was watching NXT. I was watching things like the Mae Young Classic and what was the other one? The Cruiserweight Classic, stuff like that. I was watching all the content on there. I was watching, to some extent, some of Impact and TNA, okay? And I was getting into it. And then, there was the big hype that AEW was going to be coming out and all of that to be a major competitor with WWE. So all this was happening. And I stayed watching pro wrestling, all the way through early 2020. So even though I wasn't doing the wrestling commentary show anymore, I still watched pro wrestling for about 5-6 years. And then I stopped. All right. And the reason that I stopped, it's pretty simple. Okay. In 2020, COVID hit. And when COVID hit, pro wrestling changed. No more arena shows, no more big hype. And for me, I remember I was sitting there watching WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania in 2020 with no audience. It was in the Thunderdome, which was just a virtual dome, no cheering or nothing, right? And I'm watching it and I'm like, this kind of definitely feels very different. It kind of exposed pro wrestling for what it really was. That it was really the crowd reacting to what you were seeing in the ring or in the promos. That really was half of the product. Without it, it just didn't really stand up. And a lot of people say that was the dark ages of wrestling. I have to kind of agree, not necessarily that it was their fault, but if anything, it shows that it is that real social part of wrestling, the fan reactions immediately that makes it hype. Just like a sport. Imagine how a sporting event in an empty arena. You think anyone would care about a major NBA game if no one was there to cheer or watch? So when that happened, I tuned out. I just didn't care anymore. And the other thing was that it had become such an investment of time for me to watch Raw and SmackDown, which at that point, I think Raw was like a 3-hour show. SmackDown was a 2-hour show. NXT was like a 2-hour show. So you're watching like 8 hours of just WWE a week. Then a pay-per-view event would happen. Now I got to watch another 3+ hours. But now I got to keep up with the other federations. It was too much. And especially because I wasn't doing content on it anymore. At least when I was doing the wrestling commentary show a decade ago, I could justify watching a lot of wrestling because I was getting a product out of it. Now it's like, why am I even doing this? I have other things I want to do with my life besides just watch pro wrestling all day. So I dropped it and I stopped watching pro wrestling. And I swear to God, I have not seen a single match of wrestling since WrestleMania, whatever that WrestleMania was. I think it was 2020. Okay. So yeah, I haven't seen a single match. I've seen highlights on social media and stuff like that, but I haven't seen a single pro wrestling match in almost 5 years. So now, tonight, I'm going to watch Monday Night Raw on Netflix as it debuts. I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to, tomorrow, on a new show, share those thoughts with you. And it's going to be great because we're going to have Ashton, who also is a longtime fan of pro wrestling, who has not been disconnected from pro wrestling like I have for 5 years, who's going to be my co-host. We're going to, I feel, feed off of each other pretty well because it's two completely different takes. Someone who's just getting back into it versus someone who has been with it all along. And I'm going to be jumping back in and not understanding half the crap, I'm sure, because I've been gone for so long, while he's been there and he's probably going to be able to fill in the blanks for me of the things I'm not getting or understanding. That's why I think the show is going to be fascinating, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, January 7th, of 2025, the official relaunch. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Smart Guys, the revival. It's going to be hype. It's going to be exciting. And it's going to be interesting. I think a lot of eyes will be on it because I haven't talked about pro wrestling in a very long time. So, everyone, I hope you will join me tomorrow, the same time as this show. All right. Probably we start broadcasting around 11:30-ish a.m. Pacific time on DSP Reacts, which is youtube.com/@DSP Reacts, or on my Kick channel, DSPGaming Real. And I hope that you guys will join me and we're going to have a good time with it. Now, it's only going to cover Monday Night Raw, but dependent on how well it goes, dependent on how people like the show, this will then determine what kind of content, how we cover it in the future. Will we actually cover more or less wrestling? Will it be more federations, less federations? Will it just be Monday Night Raw? Will it also include SmackDown? Will it be the pay-per-views? I just found out, I literally just found out that I have AEW on HBO Max. Well, it's just Max now, right? AEW just got added. I didn't even know that. So now that I know that, maybe we could watch some AEW and comment on that. All right. But just to forewarn you, we can't show any footage. YouTube is so strict about wrestling. If you show any WWE footage whatsoever, you get copyright smacked. And we're doing the show so you can watch it. We don't want to do the show and have it be hidden forever. We want people to be able to watch the goddamn show. All right. So we can't show you any footage. We can't even show a screen grab of the goddamn stuff because YouTube is such a stickler for content when it comes to copyright and WWE. So tomorrow will be a good litmus test, I feel, for if this kind of content can work in 2025. All right. Will we be reading contributions during the show? Yes. Yes, we will. I'll be accepting contributions on YouTube. I'll be accepting contributions on Kick. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a 50-50 split. It's a fair, even Steven deal. All right. So that's how we're going to do it. It's going to be fair. So I feel people that like Ash from his show will be coming over. People who like me from my content will be coming over. It really is a true collaboration effort to see if we can actually get a really cool show going. All right. It's time. It's been a decade, man. It's been a freaking decade. It is time to bring this content back and see how it goes. All right. I'm excited for it because I haven't done it in so long. It's something so cool and different. Thankfully, I feel like it will be more interesting because I've been away than if I had watched it all along, to be honest, because I was so burnt out on pro wrestling when I stopped watching. And now I'm actually very interested to get back into it. Okay. So tomorrow, Smart Guys, the Revival, episode 1. I hope you will all join me for the fun. By the way, there's probably going to be some technical difficulties because because it's my first time I'm doing something like this. I'm trying a virtual camera setup in Discord so that Ash can see me on camera, but you guys can see me on camera, but it's more high quality. There's probably going to be some tech issues. But the good news is hopefully it goes well and you guys like it and then we can do it regularly. And if it works out, it does. If it doesn't, no skin off our backs. At least we tried something new. But I'm feeling positive about it. I am. I'm excited to watch Monday Night Raw tonight. Okay? I am. Correct. To explain, we're going to have to explain this on the show. So what is a smark? A smark is a smart mark, okay? And Falcule just defined it. He says, a mark is a designated target audience. Basically, a smark is a fan of wrestling who gets the gimmicks and is interested in it in a different sense than a mark. We understand pro wrestling. We understand how the industry works. So we get why certain things are done a certain way when we watch pro wrestling. We're not just blindly watching. We're smart marks. Yes, we are the target audience, but we intelligently understand what we're watching. We're not just watching and not getting it. That's the difference, see? Very good. Okay, so that's tomorrow. I hope you guys are excited. All right, spread the word. Oh, so I should say this. If you are not yet, subscribe to DSP Reacts follow or subscribe over, well, not subscribe, but I think it's following over on the Kick channel, DSPGaming Reel. You want to be able to talk, right? You want to talk and chat? If you want to talk and chat, you have to be doing that for 24 hours. So get on there, as soon as possible so that you can be able to interact with the show, all right? And yes, it's on the React channel. It doesn't make sense to do it on a gaming channel. I have a React channel. I might as well have it over there and see how it goes, okay? All right. That will be exciting tomorrow. I'm very happy that I'm trying something new and different. And obviously, thank you to Ashton for doing it. I think originally it was kind of his idea. He came up with it, and then we talked about it for months behind the scenes to make it happen. And it's just something cool to do, something that makes sense, right? Something interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I was going to do some tech news today, but nah. I think we talked enough. I think what we should do is just a little bit of Q&A to end the show. Perry, thank you so much to Perry the White. He gifted 5 memberships when I did that big announcement. So let's get Perry up on the leaderboard. I believe those are the first memberships. No, Dick Jones did 5 earlier, so Perry just did 5 as well. Thank you, Perry. That's another 15 of support. That means we are up to 83. We are more than halfway to hitting another goal on this stream. And if we do, we're at 49, and we're only 1 away from the marathon, okay? Very nice. Thank you, guys. Okay. We're making Smart Guys 2.0 a Kick exclusive stream, avoid copyright. No. For example, I know for a fact, I think it was like a year or 2 ago, Casino did, during like a Halloween event, they watched Scooby-Doo. And basically what happened was they were allowed to do it, but then they were contacted by Kick behind the scenes, and they were like, don't ever do that again, and we have to delete your video on demand immediately. Kick is more lenient, but let me tell you, I'm serious. WWE is very litigious, or is it litigious? Where they just want to pull down everyone's content. They're assholes. I don't know why, but they even over a decade ago, I went to WrestleMania. All I did was I filmed a few dark matches that weren't even in the ring from WrestleMania, but were filmed somewhere else. And then I filmed the intros of wrestlers coming into the ring. They took all that content down and gave me copyright strike. Wow, you just don't allow anything. They don't allow any footage at all. They just don't want anyone filming and putting their content up. So good Lord, if you try to show any of their stuff and comment over it, it's like, forget it. I don't know how these channels do it, because I've seen channels on YouTube that do a few things. I don't know how they pull it off. I'm not messing with it. Really, it's just too much of a liability to have my channel get hit with copyright strikes because the people are being assholes. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, we got about 15 minutes left to hang out before I start with Stalker 2. If anyone has any topics they'd like to discuss, please tag me in the chat. Thank you for the early support. Really awesome and appreciated. More than halfway to the goal before we started the game is awesome. So thanks for that. JDTV says, I respectfully disagree regarding when wrestling changed. I believe it had the biggest changes after the passing of Chris Benoit. I mean, wrestling had a lot of different changes in eras, like the Attitude Era when that ended. And you're right. Then during that era, basically right after that, they started with the whole idea that they wanted to go PG. There's been a lot of different sweeping changes in the pro wrestling arena. So. I know I heard this, that apparently Hulk Hogan is going to be on Monday Night Raw tonight, filling his new beer, that he has a line of beer. And he's going to be trying to promote it. Wow. I have seen that. Yes, I've seen. I didn't watch it live, but I've saw the. It's all over the internet. When Jeff Hardy was incredibly high and he was in TNA, and he had the title match against Sting, and so Sting just held him down and pinned him within 3 seconds, and that was the end of the match because it was so embarrassing. He was so high. Did I care more about the in-ring work or storylines when I watched? Both. Like I liked both. I liked that part of the industry that there was athleticism that was at play, and if these athletes worked hard and choreographed an amazing match, you could respect the work, right? But then on top of that, that you could have people who were actually good actors and had charisma and personas and change between characters. It was kind of like both. It's both athleticism but theater at the same time. And if it comes together to be a perfect product, it truly is something unique. Lixification says, "Did I know wrestling was fake when I was younger? Or did I always know it was scripted?" No, I told you guys the story is that I started watching pro wrestling. It was my godfather who had it on as like a pay-per-view at his house when we were going over there like for Thanksgiving or something. I think I saw Survivor Series at his house or something like that. It was one of the pay-per-views was on, maybe SummerSlam, when I was at my godfather's house because he was a big fan of pro wrestling. So when I was a kid, I had no idea that it was fake. I thought that it was real. You know, it wasn't until much later, probably the 90s, when I realized that pro wrestling was fake. Yeah, I've never seen any of the Dark Side of the Ring documentaries. I've heard of them, but I've never seen a single one. Chicken Tender Dad is on Kick is saying that Ashton and I should one day watch and react to one of those documentaries together, that it would be good content. Maybe? I don't know. I've never seen it. Sergio, 34 months as a supporter. He says, "Happy New Year, man. Good to see you, Sergio. Thanks for the ongoing support, man." Did I like The Godfather? I mean, The Godfather was Papa Shango. I knew him as Papa Shango before his other characters. Remember, um, he was in the Nation of Domination. I forgot what his name was when he was part of that group too. But you know, that the Attitude Era having these cartoonish characters, and that's what I mean. The Godfather was like this really cartoonish character that people liked because he was so larger than life. Hypnotic Jinx, we could always talk. If you email me, we could talk about that. Um, you know, if you were willing to help out when you were here, just shoot me an email, darksidefil@hotmail.com. We could talk about it. Ugh. Kama Mustafa. That's right. He was Kama Mustafa. Wasn't he like the fighting machine or something like that? What's my favorite retro wrestling game? I mean, the only retro wrestling game I ever played was like wrestling on Atari. Seriously, I had that. And then I never played anything on NES. I never played anything on Super Nintendo. I never played anything on N64. Probably PS2 era, the early SmackDown games, like Here Comes the Pain and stuff like that. Those are the ones that I played. So probably those. Watching 4 hours of wrestling to do a review show is huge dedication. You're telling me Monday Night Raw is 4 hours long? Well, then I'm going to be fast forwarding a lot. I'm not watching 4 hours. You know I'm going to skip the commercials. I'm not going to watch the commercials and shit. There's no way I'm watching 4 hours of wrestling tonight. Absolutely not. Is it seriously 4 hours? That's insane. They've never done a 4-hour show before. How long is it? Also, I wonder how they're going to do it because it's live, right? So when it's live, you probably have to watch their live broadcast. But once it ends, then it probably becomes an on-demand video. But how will that work? Like, there's probably ad breaks in there. Will they force the ad breaks? Like, there's plenty of on-demand services that force ad breaks anyway. I wonder how they're going to do it. By the way, I paid for the ad-free service. I paid for the more expensive Netflix that's completely ad-free. So maybe I won't have to watch the ads. I don't know. Oh, there's absolutely no way I'm watching 3.5 hours. I'm skimming through that shit. You know, I'm gonna watch all the important stuff, all the big stuff. 3.5 hours is nuts. They're out of their fucking minds. You think any normal person's gonna sit there for 4 hours watching? They're idiots. That's really stupid. Netflix always had ads. Didn't Netflix? Well, wait a minute. Let me think about this. Netflix had no. Right. Didn't they change it? Didn't they change it and say that Netflix now has a ad-supported service that's discounted, and then they have the fully ad-free? I don't even know. I got the highest tier. I got the highest tier because I wanted to be ad-free. I was not going to watch ads and shit, you know, during normal content. But in this case, I think they're going to force it. I think they're going to force you to watch ads because it's a broadcast that had ads in it. So you're probably going to have to watch the ads no matter what. What happened to the Dante's Inferno playthrough on DSP Throwback? It's complete. What you see there is the entirety of the playthrough. I never finished the game. That was the final part. There is the last part of the playthrough. It didn't. I never finished it because YouTube wouldn't allow it back in the day. YouTube kept taking those videos and taking them off my channel, saying they violated the community rules because either ultra violence or nudity. So I was not allowed to finish the playthrough. Yeah, I got the highest tier Netflix, whatever it is. So I don't know. I think it supports up to 4K video and shit, but like I have no idea what resolution Netflix actually would play on my phone. I have no clue. That's it. Actually, oh wait a minute. What do they? How do they film Monday Night Raw now? I mean, this has been years since I watched. Do they actually film it in 4K, or is it just like still 1080p, fucking fuzzball quality? Is it 60 frames? Is it 30 frames? I have no clue. I haven't seen the product in 5 years. I don't even know what they do anymore. The ring is covered in ads now. 6 ads all over the mat, not including LED screens. Oh my God. This is going to be wild. This is going to be the best commentary show ever tomorrow. You understand this? I've literally not watched wrestling in 5 years. All these changes it's going to be like a flood of like information. It's going to like destroy my brain. Oh my Lord. The way they work ads on Peacock, they'll go coming up next for premium and stuff like that. So you get an ad or a video package. I have no idea how this is gonna work. We're all gonna find out tonight, I guess. Joshua says he still watches my DSP Street Fighter channel. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. You know, for the year and a half that I did it, it's sad that Machinima killed it. You guys know that story. So back in the day, a decade ago, I had multiple channels because I was making so much content. I didn't want to flood one channel with so much. So I had DSP Gaming, which was for like regular narrative-based playthroughs or multiplayer streams. But then I had a whole fighting game channel called DSP Street Fighter, where I played games like Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and a bunch of others that came out too. After a year, Machinima, who was my partner network on YouTube at the time, said, so because of falling, dwindling revenues and stuff, we have to cut the what we're going to pay you. So on DSP Gaming, you get more views, so we're going to pay you more for a view. But then on DSP Street Fighter, you get less views, so we're going to pay you less. And I said, why in God's green earth, in my right mind, would I upload one more video to that channel if you're going to pay me less per view? I'm just going to upload all my content on DSP Gaming then, and you're going to pay me more for it. And I swear to God, the contracts person was like, yeah, I have no idea why we would ever have done this. And that's why Machinima went out of business, folks, because they were a bunch of fucking idiots. I don't know what else to say. They were that stupid. Yeah, I've heard that WWE has Prime as a sponsor, which is absolutely disgusting. So I can't wait to make fun of that. I can't wait. I'm telling you, to watch this product tonight, being 5 years removed, this is going to be a wild thing. And then tomorrow to do the commentary with Ash is going to be like, it's going to be a dumpathon. I think. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe there'll be something good. We'll find out. Maybe I'll be blown away. Who knows? I have no idea. I don't know what to expect. Why would I skip it? If someone says, "Are you going to skip the Logan Paul matches?" Why would I specifically skip the Logan Paul matches? And why do you say matches? Does he have more than one match? Do they actually have Logan Paul wrestling more than one match on the premiere episode of Raw? No, stop. Stop right now. Someone's like, wait till you see the Prime hydration station. Just stop. Now you're no. I wanna see this for the first time, and I want to actively react to it for the first time. So please stop spoiling. How long is the show gonna run? I would say probably 2 hours. We'll probably talk for 2 hours because it's gonna be such a thing to get caught up on this stuff. I doubt I'm covering every single match. You know, we'll see. We'll see how the show takes us. You know how it goes. It also depends on how it goes. If we're doing the show and the show's doing well and we got a lot of viewers and supports coming in, we'll go as long as it takes. You know, tomorrow I'm only doing Indiana Jones. It's not a big deal to delay it a day if we delay it. You know, if we just do the wrestling show, it's fine. I'm not limiting the run of the show to any length. We'll see how it goes, okay? I also got to figure out how to do the audio for the show because I was debating if I should wear headphones or if I should just have Ash's voice come through my speakers. I hope it wouldn't make an echo. If I wear headphones, there'll be no echo, but then I got to wear headphones for the whole dang thing. So I'm debating what to do. I got to think about it. I might just do headphones. I'm gonna have to charge them tonight. All right. I think it's time to end the show. And thank you guys for chilling with me here today. Thanks for the early support for those who supported. We're already halfway to our goal for the day, which is excellent. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow there is no Level 1 podcast. Instead, we got this new, the Smart Guys, the Revival, over on DSP Reacts and on DSP Gaming Reel on Kick. I hope you will join me for the show if you're interested in pro wrestling. If you're not, I get it. All right. If you're not into it, you're probably not going to care. And that's okay. But thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me and thanks for watching. Tonight, I can't wait for the top 10 best playthroughs of 2024 countdown right here on DSP Gaming. And then we shall reconvene, shall we, on Wednesday. Wednesday, we will be back here on the Level 1 podcast to talk about how everything went and get back into line. You know, I'm sure there'll be more stories from CES at that point. Maybe we'll do a whole segment about CES stories because I had 2 today and I didn't get to them. But thank you all very much. Have a good one. See you on Wednesday, and we'll get caught up. Peace out, my friends.